Hey guys, happy Friday. It's almost Easter time. I have quite a few reminders for you guys, really. And I just want to bring up this nice new protocol that's been made up for the playground, since we've had quite a few questions around that lately that we were hoping to clear up with this. I will attach, since it is longer and you may have specific questions around specific areas, whereas you feel like other areas are very clear. So I'll attach the whole SOP there, but you can also find it in our SOP files called Playground FAQ and Protocol. So I would really like everybody to revise this really well, no matter which department you're working in, just to be sure you're 100% clear on the expectations and rules around the different areas, all the way from vaccines to hours of operation, honestly, around the trial period for these pets, vaccine requirements for puppies versus adults, spay and neuter requirements. That's definitely an area people are very confused, so I'd really like to clear that up. And then transfers, resort boarders going over to the playground. This is a big change, so we really need everybody to pay close attention here and have that information well known to each of you. And then around the bathing protocols for the playground as well, and then there's just other frequently asked questions for that side. So I'll place that there. We'll go over some of it together, but I do want to start with one simple, very simple reminder, guys. Please help me with this. It seems that we are seeing less and less inappropriate disposed cigarettes in our actually facility area. However, they're not all making it into the appropriate place still. So please help me with that. They're not necessarily on the ground within our grounds, if you will. But unfortunately, I feel that they are being flicked over the fence, unfortunately, behind the apartment area, leading our lawn care to wreak havoc around our sidewalk area. Don't get me wrong, some of the apartment people as well are also smoking and throwing their cigarettes in inappropriate areas, but that's generally in the front. Honestly, we're having a big pileup of cigarettes right by the back door, by that back entrance to that doctor's office and the new exam rooms, that door right there. It's seemingly like maybe when it's inconvenient or we're in a rush, we might be flicking these cigarettes over the fence. So if that is the case, please let's not do that anymore. Let's put them in the appropriate place. If you feel like we need extra cigarette dispensed areas or a new one or something is wrong with it, please bring it to my attention, versus just taking the easy way out and throwing it over there, because that's just not the right thing to do, and we're making a big mess in the other yards. Okay, so please let's keep our cigarettes posted in the right places in the bin. Okay, let's start with this playground FAQ and protocol. The general process is supposed to just ensure that all CCS and all team members really are following the same protocol for our daycare pets and playground, to ensure protocol is happening for everybody exactly the same and there's no confusion. So again, I'm just going to focus in on the general areas that we have major confusion. So the 3-day trial, for sure. This is where we have some back and forth a little bit, where we're not on the same page. So if an owner calls to get a pet started doing daycare for the first time, please be sure we let them know that a 3-day introduction is required for the pet. So this means the first day, we're actually in a trial area. So make sure that they understand that. It's not just like they're gonna get started and that's for sure they're in. It's a trial period to make sure that the pet is a good fit and that they're gonna enjoy their stay with us. So this is to be scheduled for 3 consecutive days during the week. It must be consecutive. It can't be Tuesday and Wednesday of this week and another day the next week. It has to be 3 consecutive days. So it is a commitment that the owner has to commit to for their pet, to ensure that we can see what does 3 days consecutively look like for their pet. Is it going to overstress them? Are they going to enjoy it? Are they going to fit in with the other pets or not? So 3 consecutive days, meaning it needs to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so on and so forth. This ensures that the pet is given the adequate amount of time to acclimate, find their play groups, and form a strong positive memory of daycare. This is a paid trial. It's not complimentary or free. We will need to collect a card on file to begin the daycare introduction. So that's big old rule number 1. If a pet is over 6 months of age and unaltered, they would not be able to partake in the trial until the pet has been altered. Just to be clear here, this is because they have not been to our daycare facility before the age of 6 months. If they have come before and there is some kind of excuse from a doctor that says they need to wait or something like that, that is fine. But again, that pet would have had to be here already, been through the trial period, and be a good candidate for daycare. If a pet that is not microchipped or does not have the CIV vaccine yet, they can partake in the trial. But if they decide they want to continue with daycare, then they will need to receive both the CIV vaccine and be microchipped to continue coming. So again, it is not absolutely necessary for the trial period that the CIV and microchipping be done, because we wouldn't want to make them do that if they were maybe on the fence about that, if they're not 100% sure a good fit. Because if they don't fit and we have to tell them that they can't come, they're going to be extra just frustrated that they also microchip their pet in the CIV if they didn't already just want to do that and we're excited to do that. So those services are allowed to be scheduled with a nurse after the trial period is over. Okay, one biggie too. A pet cannot board at the playground until a trial has been completed. They cannot board during the trial period either. So again, the playground is meant for pets who are past the trial period. They're good candidates. They're part of our daycare pack. Okay. Puppy vaccine requirements. Just like in the update recently, when we put this out, puppies are required to be at least 12 weeks of age before starting this social activity of daycare. And we need to have at least 2 rounds of vaccinations, the second one being between 11 and 12 weeks old. Remember that puppies attending daycare will not be required to be spayed and neutered and microchipped until they are 6 months of age. So microchipping as well, because they like to do that with the spay and neuter sometimes. 6 months is a requirement that they must have it by, or at least by the end of the 3-day trial if they are 6 months. Excuse me. All right, and just around that spay and neuter requirement as well, just to be extra clear, again, there's a lot of back and forth on this and some confusion. Pets must be spayed or neutered at 6 months of age unless there is a doctor note in the patient's record that they need to be altered between 7 and 9 months. That puppy is allowed to continue to come to daycare as long as they are not showing any behavioral changes or aggression. So with the doctor's note, they are allowed to continue coming up until that time period, up till 9 months, without being altered, as long as their behavior isn't changing. So that is important to make sure they understand, because they have a doctor's note doesn't mean that if their dog's behavior changes and it is unsafe for them to continue coming to daycare, that doctor's note then wouldn't, override that rule, because the behavior has changed and it has become unsafe. If you are ever unsure, then please just leave a work list message for the attending doctor or Lily, and they can help you from there. Okay, so pet resorts and daycare policy. Here's another change. There are to be no transfers from a condo at the resort over to the playground. Excuse me. The reason for this is being all the playground lofts and condos there are very, very similar to our resort. And we have come to an amount on a daily basis of where we are reaching upwards of 70 to 90 dogs a day. So we are having to limit how much boarding we are doing there because we are having so many daily drop-offs, upwards of 70 and 90. So if we have 15, 20 dogs boarding there and we have 70 to 80 being dropped off, our facility is being overran with pets and we won't have enough room. So this is a way to limit this down naturally. So transfers will not happen for a pet if they are at a resort boarding and staying in a condo. However, if a pet wants to attend daycare, that pet will need to board at the playground and participate in daycare every day. The only exception to the transfers will be for pets staying in a suite at the resort, meaning we only have 16 suites. It's not going to be every single one of these pets staying in a suite that is going to want to attend daycare. So this is a natural way to be able to limit these transfers daily, as well as generally we're only allowing this anyways for pets that have some extra anxiety, or maybe some really focused clients that feel like their pets need more room and a more home-like environment versus the playground or regular condos type stay for whatever reason. Whether it be for nerves or just space needing to move around a little bit more. This is not to be encouraged by any means as a loophole, but to help accommodate either a pet's needs or a client's preference for their pet. Please let clients know that even if they are going to be participating in daycare, they will still need to check that pet in at the resort and pick up from the resort. So again, that's only for pets staying in suites and wishing to transfer over to do daycare. This will ensure that all of the pet's belongings and medications do not get misplaced. If you receive pushback from a client, please reiterate that it comes down to both pet and staff safety. Do your best to encourage play times if that pet is going to be staying at the resort but usually does daycare. We are really trying to enhance our playtime areas with new toys and all kinds of fun things. So again, you know, a playtime can be just as much fun. We're going to go outside and we're going to really play with their pet in whichever way they like to be able to really, you know, get their energy out, or if it's just time for exploration or whatever their pet would like to do during that time, so they can still have outings. If this is a pet that typically does boarding at the playground, please gently remind them that booking in advance is the best way to guarantee space for their pet. Again, we have to have some limitations there because we are overbooking at times, and we have to find a way to be able to find a balance to where our staff and facility can keep up with the amount of pets wishing to do daycare with us. As far as the bathing protocol that I was speaking of earlier at the playground, that's changed. It's really just reinforcing. Please also note that this is a maximum of 12 baths per day at the playground. This does include both spa and departure baths. The bathers do not arrive at the playground until noon to start those services. So if somebody needs to leave early, they'll need to have that done either the day before, and so that they can leave bright and early in the morning. If there's ever a question about making bath exceptions, those will need to be cleared with Kaylee Mullins as our grooming department manager. So again, all in all, and the reason being is because pets play first at the playground, and our team will come over at the noon time to start taking them from their play groups to start their baths, so they can all have their baths for the day and be dried and complete for pickup time in the afternoon. And just being really sure that we're taking times and such if pet owners are wishing to pick their pets up at a certain time. So if you have any questions at all, please refer to this FAQ. It's very well documented and has great information here. There has been plenty of changes, as I've said. If you have some confusion, please get with either your manager to help clear it up, or Lily especially can definitely help to clear this up. But the SOP is really well written, so please check there first, read it very well, and come back with questions should you have any, so we can help clear up some more if we need to. Alrighty guys, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I hope you all have a happy Easter. Thanks so much.